I've been working on the farm today trying to get the cows separated, but it started raining. As you can see, I'm all soaking wet, so I decided to come in the barn and see if I can get a video of me making a retrievable friction saver that goes up in a tree. Ring saver, pulley saver, whatever you want to call it. It's retrievable from the ground and it stops the friction from going on the bark of the tree. It could save the tree from damage. I'm throwing things on the ground. Oh well. So what I have here is some pieces of all gear rope and some pulleys. I got a tango pulley here. I'm going to use them as an example. I got a big ring, I got a little ring, got an old school pinto pulley with the safety block in it. I got a pair of scissors, some electrical tape. I have my old HCR Prusik rope. It's 8mm, and then I bought some new stuff. It's like Delaney's, Delogies Armor Plus. I don't know how you pronounce that, but I'm going to give this a try. About 16 feet of it, and I cut a couple pieces off of it for the friction saver for my lifeline, and another piece for the lifeline. So let's get in here. I'm going to teach how to tie a double fisherman's knot instead of an eye-to-eye double termination knot. So let's get into this video. Hopefully the rain holds off long enough so you can hear me. He's not happy, but he got pulled out of the herd. He's getting switched over for the other one. I think the rain's finally letting up. It was so loud hitting the tin. You couldn't freaking hear my voice. So there's a lot of ways to actually make a retrievable friction saver. What I did was I cut about 5 feet off of a 200-foot climbing line here. I put a termination knot on the end of it. So the old setup with my retrievable friction saver had a Prusik knot clove hitched on to the pinto pulley here, and I'm going to change it a little bit because this eye is the retrievable one that I have the washer that gets stuck in here, but I didn't really like it 100% because whenever I put this rope in here, what was happening was it's a little bit tight, but it can be rope on rope contact depending on where it lines up on the pulley here whenever it's going around the tree. If it's up here, it's okay, but if it comes down a little bit, it kind of goes rope on rope contact. So I really didn't want that going on. Let me just untie this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this ring on the Prusik and terminate this on the end of the line itself. So let me get this. This is my lanyard. And what I did was, it's 26 feet long, so I have a big daisy chain here. And what I do is I take the termination knot and I shove it up inside of the daisy chain, which makes it a lot smaller and more neat in the tree. And I have it set up in such a way that I can take a wire gate carabiner, unclip it, and then if I need more line, I have more line. If I need less line, I'll just keep daisy chaining it up to store the line while I'm climbing in the tree, which I really like that setup a lot. So first off, I'm going to start with a clove hitch. So I'm going to run my line through the ring. I'm going to make a loop around it and come back through. Now this loop, this center loop right here, I'm going to take one lead and I'm going to pass it through it, and then I'm going to take the other lead and pass it through it the other direction. But it didn't bite. That didn't make the clove hitch. So there's the clove hitch. And I'm going to try and line up the two ends after I did that, just to make it a little bit easier whenever I go to do the double fisherman's knot. Now the double fisherman's knot, I'm going to cross left over right, pull out a bunch of slack, so I got an X. Then I'm going to come through, and I'm going to keep my thumb right here. I'm going to go over it once, go over it twice, and then down here, I'm going to go through and pull the line through. So that's one fisherman knot. And whenever I make these, I try and line up the electrical tape, and then you can fish this line over, and then with your fingers you can just run it backwards. Pull that tight. Come over here, same thing, it's crossed left over right. Put my thumb on top, 1, 2, and then I'm going to spin it this way. You can actually put your thumb in there and then follow your thumb through. So it's making an X. Same thing, I'm going to run this line up, take that slack out, push this slack up, and pull the slack through. Now when this knot's done, you should have 2 X's right next to each other, and then 4 running lines. Now obviously that's not set, because I didn't pull on it as tight as I could yet. Now it's nice and tight and clean. Now I'm going to try and line this clinch knot up a little bit better. So that everything flows nice and straight. It's still a little bit off to the side. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the line, this already has a termination knot on one end, and then I'm going to girth hitch this ring by going through itself 3 times. I'm going to clean everything up. And now I have my retrievable ring on the line. And the reason I'm doing it this way is because if you throw this over the tree, your tail end goes over the crotch that you're going to retrieve it from. If you're left-handed, or you tend left-handed, you want it on your left side. If you tend on the right, you tend it on the right. So now, what I'm going to do is I want to put the pulley on this side. But you can as well use a ring. And the neat thing about the ring is you can, when you put that ring on there, you can take a climbing line. It doesn't have an eye on it, and you could just tie an overhand knot. I don't know if it'll do it with this prusik already on here, but the overhand knot will slip through the bigger ring when you go to retrieve it and get caught in the smaller ring, and then everything will pull out of the tree and go down. So, I want this pulley in here because it's a little less friction. And there's a couple ways you can do this, but you always have to put the ring in it because these two pieces of metal can bend and break without this ring in here. So I'm going to put this on the end of my line. And what I can do is I can make a triple termination knot. So that's 1, 2, 3, and now I'm going to run back through everything. So that's a triple termination knot. Now this can run down and slide into there, and that's stuck on there. That can't go anywhere. This is going to be wrapped around the tree and goes into here. Or I can take and do a single fisherman's knot. And that'll come down and bite on there, and it can't go anywhere. Now you might want to take some electrical tape and tape this taper off so that it doesn't get stuck in the crotch of the tree whenever you're trying to retrieve this. Now, I have a 60-foot climbing line there. And I'm going to take this carabiner off. I'm going to run this through here, and now I know it's tight, but this is my retrievable, and all it is, it's a 1/2-inch washer, literally all it is. So now I just run this line through there. And when this is up in the tree, I can pull this system. That 1/2-inch washer pulls through the pulley and gets stuck in this ring, and then it'll pull the friction saver out of the tree. Now this is my 200-foot climbing line. Termination knot to a carabiner. Yes, I would love to learn how to splice, but I just haven't trusted myself yet with it. I mean, it is my lifeline. I have never done that before, but maybe I will one day. So, same thing. We're going to take this up through here. Let's do it the other way. If you're 10 left-handed, you go up through the small ring first, go to here, and you tie your termination knot back onto your climb line. Then you run down the tree. You get to the ground, you have your retrieval ball and you don't have an eye. So what you can do is a bunch of girth hitches. And you make sure that thing's not past here. Or you make sure it is past there. That way, it doesn't get stuck in the first line of retrieval. So this will come through, comes through the pulley, come on, you just did it. Comes through the pulley and then hits the small ring, and then this whole system comes down to the ground. Now there's a bunch of ways to do this, so you don't always have to do it this way. Key things: termination knot on one end, on your dead end. Ring in the pulley. Now you can do this. This ring's already on here. So girth hitch this. Tie your safety knot, whatever one you want. You can tie a figure 8, you can tie this variation of the fisherman's knot. That way it can't slide down. Because if this slides down the rope, it's going to stop on that knot. And it can save your life. So always put a safety knot. So now I have 2 rings on here. Left-handed retrieve, you start with the small ring, or right-hand retrieve, you start with the small ring, and you go to the big ring. Then I just tie an overhand knot at the ground and pull this through. That knot comes through the big ring, catches the little ring, pulls this all the way to the ground, and that's pretty much the basics of a friction saver. But I don't use this ring in a friction saver. One, it's an open gate. That's not why I don't use it. It's meant for other things, but it can be used for that. But what I was doing, what I was trying to learn, to be honest, is... So the reason I don't use this ring is because I'd rather have it on me for whenever I don't want a friction saver. Now I tried showing this in the last video when I used the Pantene click and the Petzl foot and knee ascender for the first time. So your SRT up the tree, and you want to go out and limb walk with a mechanical advantage. So you want to DRT. You can take this ring. It's the reason I have this little clip on here to make this retrievable. Put this little clip on here. Now that's clipped onto the rope. Now I'm going to take this ring I'm going to pull a bight of rope through the ring. Then I'm going to flip the rope over it. So now I have a girth hitch with the bight going up. I'm going to get this little carabiner out of here and put it above everything and bite down on that. So now that's still SRT. Then I'm going to take another bite of rope and I'm going to pull it through here. Then I'm going to take a pulley carabiner and clip that into my hitch climber. So now I went into DRT. That bull's not happy. He's down there making all kinds of noises. All right, anyway, I got my foot notch quickie set up on the bottom here for my base anchor. It goes all the way up to the tree, comes back down to my ring here that I switched over from SRT going up to DRT coming down. This little walnut thing here, right? That's in my last video of me making it, but I'm coming down. Now there is a little bit of rope on rope up there on that ring, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And then on top of that, whenever I put another pulley into the system on the hitch climber system, this all rubs together too. So that's what's binding it up. So normally I don't do that, but let's see if I can retrieve this whole system from the ground here. So I get rid of the that pulley there. I'm gonna let go of this line. I'm gonna give it one big tug, and it binds up. There it is. And that comes back to me. So that's why I keep this ring on me instead of on a line here. And then you're already on the ground, so you just come over here and you undo the quickie. Pull the knot out. And then you pull all this rope and your whole system's on the ground. So that's a couple ways of doing retrievable, whether it's a friction hitch, whether it's SRT up and back down, DRT, DDRT, double rope, single rope, whatever you want to do. That's how I've been doing it. I've been having fun doing it. Just get out and try it. Try it on the ground. Because my last video, I was over there in that oak tree over there. First time I ever climbed SRT. I made a complete fool of myself. I didn't have my neck lanyard. I didn't have my rope tied to my bag. We'll see you in the next black crappie video. Here, I got a little bit of a side wedge here, just as precaution, below my stump. But the whole rest of the tree is still attached to it. So there's, whoa, I'm not the best with this thing. There's the notch. It's got a big snipe on the front of it. And it's time to get my lifeline out of this. And I already put my washer on the end of this. So I'm gonna throw this. Oh, it's crossed. Make sure it's not crossed. And I'm gonna pull this up. All right, so, okay, now it's through the pulley. There's the pulley on that side of the crotch. And now it's stuck on this crotch. So let's go over, back over on this side. And now the knot is stuck. Oh no, I dropped the, oh no, it's stuck up in there for good. It stripped the, haha, that sucks. It stripped the tape off of it. So everything's stuck up there, which kind of sucks. That kind of defeats the whole purpose of a retrievable. All right, well, my friction saver got stuck up in this tree. And if you want to watch this tree come down, it's going to happen in the next video, so you might want to watch it. But as far as that friction saver goes up in there, it was stuck around the crotch, and I'm not too happy about it. But you know what? I guess I just got to cut the tree, let it hit the ground so I can get my pulley saver back out of there. So we're going to get this Kramer, where's it at? Right there. We're going to get some tension on that. And we're going to hit this ground pretty hard with this tree for Independence Weekend here.